You're listening to ParaSearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of ParaSearch Radio or their affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are obviously live again at Sage PARACON for the last day, which is sad, and we have Bloody Mary on with us this afternoon.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Bloody Mary from New Orleans.
And I want to obviously talk because you've done quite a few rituals, haven't you, this weekend? And I want to first ask you about what the purpose of the ritual you did before we started the voodoo bash last night.
The purpose was to open the gates to the spirit world, to let them know our intentions, to honor them, and to move energy, raise energy, and dance with it. So we're a moving religion, and the ancestral is a large part of the religion. So to honor them in dance and song was part of it, and I left it open until today. I will close the gates.
And I don't know if anyone saw the video, but you can see me twirling around, and because she has us all dancing.
And it's good because a lot of people won't dance. They'll just stand on the sidelines and drop their jaws. Most everyone got up, which was commendable. So I'm very, very glad about that. The spirit energy. I didn't have proper drummers with me, but I had volunteer drummers and volunteer assistants, and the spirits acknowledged their help. So that was really good. And I open the gates and close the gates on every paranormal investigation that I do too. It's to honor the spirits. Yeah.
So how did you do this last night for Pat? I can't see his last name. Or did you do it for all of them?
Oh, for the Barons?
Yeah.
I did it mainly last night because that was the theme it seemed that everybody was going, since everyone knows the top hat, tails coat dude and wife and family. I did it more for that because also ghosts are our history and they represent that. And we want to honor the dead. This was kind of, in my opinion, a way to end Sage PARACON and rebirth it for next year. So we also made a voodoo doll named Sage, and we did that as well. So the other nights, when I did the 6 different openings and closing rituals in the ghost hunt, we called on Papa Laba, the guardian of the crossroads, who a lot of people think is the top hat guy, but he's not. So we honored a few of them, threw in a Damballa, lots of invisible spirits in voodoo.
I found it really interesting that you did that, because we don't really, we know what voodoo is, but over here we don't really have people who practice voodoo and that like you do. And obviously you have a different way of investigating and things like that.
I do voodoo paranormal mainly because I open it that way. I think that it's honorable to the spirits to ritually open the gates and formally close. Gates and portals are always there. You have to put a structure within a structure. So to do that by opening, by asking, by giving food, inviting them in voodoo you literally say, come in and dance with me. So it's a quieter, more open way, I guess. So I also sometimes just do simple things, and we use the modern stuff as well. But I tried to do a bit of both.
So is that why you get us turning left as well, because we're dancing with the spirits? Is that how you...
Sort of. Basically, counterclockwise sends energies in and through, where clockwise is the motion ritually that you send energies outward, like for healing and this. So we're calling the spirits in to dance with us. We want to communicate, so you want them more or less to come in or near for the communication to be clearer. So everything is seen on the other side of the mirror, and the mirror is like another dimension, and Bloody Mary always works in the mirror. So all those things... we're actually, helping them come in. So turning left is part of it. You'd be doing a lot more left spinning, and that gets you out of body. Yeah. And so if you literally want to dance possession, and I'd make you do a lot more of those spins, and then I'd have to hold all of you while the pig came through. But we're good. But, the song is the spirits can hear us, know our intentions, and know that we seek counsel. Yeah. That is the concept. Yeah.
So is that why you picked that room? Because it had a lot of mirrors in, didn't it, where you were investigating?
I didn't get to pick it. Spirits did. So they did have a lot of mirrors in that room. but that was not the room I picked. I had asked for something without carpet so I could draw the vevas on the ground. But yeah, that first room was, and I would not have asked for that loud refrigerator.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't get any EVPs because of that. It was so loud. But that's all right. The experience, reaching out is what's more important, than all of them. Though we did get some whistles. We got some spirit whistles back as I whistled to them sometime. And they did respond in 3 whistles. So we got some whistles, a few photographs. And I saw people's spirit guides, spirit animals, and spirits of the place.
Yeah. That's what I found interesting as well, because you obviously had people... When we did that sentence thing, do you want to let people know about
it was a 19th century method of spiritualism connection that we do a collective automatic writing. So I write a sentence or two, and then the next person does, and you only see the last word of the previous sentence. So it goes into a continuous story, of which I'm going to post all of the results online. They can go back and check with that. So it's also to help people start to try to communicate through automatic writing in case that happens to be their best way of communication.
And I know our group was quite interesting, wasn't it? Because you said let the spirits, make you right. And
yes,
because the lady before me put forest, and that was the one. And in my mind, I was just got that wording of I'm in the forest, I live in the forest, whatever it was. But that was instantly in my mind, and I felt the need that I needed to write it.
Right, and it wasn't her word, wasn't forest, right? But that was the last word of a sentence.
Yeah, that was the last word of a sentence.
Yeah, and then it continued. I noticed that on a few of them, that it continued the theme. If you don't get as stressed about it and you just open and let it flow, it will flow.
Yeah.
And it helps you get used to breaking the ice on starting automatic writing, which I think is a forgotten method a lot of times in paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
And we've got to use all methods, so old school and new school together is kind of what I preach, which might include singing, dancing, definitely includes always food or liquor.
Yeah.
And, the dead are hungry and thirsty is something we always say, and then sometimes writing and sometimes mediumship as well as equipment. And I love photography. That's my thing.
I think obviously it'd be interesting for people listening to it, because that's how you leave offerings and that. We don't really, in the side of the paranormal, what we do investigating, we don't really leave food and drink, so that'd probably be interesting for someone to interpret that and see what happens.
Well, I think that they need energy to manifest. They need energy to manifest. If you don't give them something, they will take something. As you know, battery life of cameras and things. This is making it more human, remembering their humanness, less experiment, like you would call something that you would bring to an investigation a trigger item. I call it a gift. So if I'm bringing a toy, I leave it for the children. If I'm bringing a toy, I leave it for them. If I'm bringing candy, I leave it for them. And I always bring a little bubbly or something to help them remember their humanness. And so the communication can be better. And it also stops them from sucking the battery out of your camera and equipment.
Because you've told us, didn't you, to leave, if we had offerings like sweets or something, to leave it on the... Did you call it?
Yes, it's like an altar. Yes, it's a ritual. When you're making a small altar, it's a ritual diagram on the ground. I also had ritual veve made out of sequins. It's just a designated area that you make as a sacred space that you anoint. You open the gates with water, as well as I went to all the doors and windows and a variety of other things. But yes, you leave food. Coins of the realm, something they like, liquor, libations, all the things that you liked in life. So yes, I would want people to participate by adding whatever they had.
And I guess with what you do, if you're leaving what they liked in life, the more to come forward, I guess, aren't they? Because they're like, something we like, let's...
You want to try to match the offering to the person, just like if you went to someone's house for dinner and you happen to know that dinner that night was going to be Italian, or if you knew it was going to be New Orleans Creole, you would probably bring something to match that, right? So... I would say the same thing in a ritual. If you knew you were going to this particular place and this was there, you might think of what they might like at the time, and you give them that. Tobacco works a lot too. Cigars, cigarettes, pipes. Spirits still smoke. Spirits love spirits. It's all those social things that they get to enjoy through you and around you.
And I think that's probably why some speak more and communicate more when there's a big group of us and you're chattering, because that'll be the social aspect of it as well, won't it?
As opposed to just, well, it's be an experiment. How many spirits are here?
Yeah.
I mean, I find sometimes if we forget that and just start chit-chatting, that's when you might get responses because they want to be a part of it.
So we shall talk a little bit about your museum. You have something you just come out.
Well, it's not new. My Haunted Museum, I've been in the location 3 years. It's been open a little over 2 years to the public. I had private ghost hunts in there prior to that. However, I do have a Haunted Museum to Go, which is an app now. It's an interactive app. It has podcast kind of intros and voiceover and music. It has a vlog and a blog because it'll have a continued spirit guide with the updated paranormal evidence that's happened there monthly, like the best of. So it'll update, and it's got pictures and EVPs and my display rooms and all kinds of things. So if you just look up Bloody Mary Tour on your app store and your phone, you can download it from there, and then you could even get that money back if you come in person. We take it off the fees on the tour, so it's still good. It's still good forever. So yes, and I have a new website coming out in January. The app just coming out now. Then I'm finishing up a book and going back to start up my YouTube again. So look up Bloody Mary New Orleans, and you should find me there.
So we'll just end it with, do you want to let people about the mini voodoo dolls you've got on your store?
Sure. I've got a lot of mini voodoo dolls up there, and they're all blanks, and we wake them, name them, and task them for. So mini ones in your purse, so a lot of people like them for money. So like a pocket money doll, you put it by your wallet and pull it in. But it could also be everybody here. I made gree-grees and dolls for spirit connection, communication, to help draw the spirits near you. And then we name them, task them, wake them, feed them. I do a ritual on them. Anybody can make a doll. Anybody can go make a craft, but it's not a voodoo doll if it's not fed, if it's not woken, if it's not has the ritual aspect that I've learned and been passed down. I have a whole voodoo doll bar in my museum that I make people participate. It's like, build a bear, but build a doll. It's a much older project. And then I wake them and name them with them and teach them, because your energies need to be in there as well as the other person. You don't know who made half the dolls, and some of them are made in China. I want to make sure it's a priestess made.
And I guess it's the same with crystal work, isn't it? Because they say if you buy a crystal to put your energy into it, so kind of it works a bit.
Well, you have to cleanse because you don't know who's been handling and what's going on. So sure, everything that you get, you should definitely put your energy into it, or have a priestess or priest who's there who's helping you do it correctly, so you know how to use it and how to feed it, because if you don't feed a relationship, it dies, right? Same thing with your spirit tools. They need to be cleansed, they need to be fed, they need to be used, and they absorb the energies of the ritual. And you?
So we did a quick short one, guys, so I will let Bloody Mary say goodbye first, and then
well, hello and goodbye, and remember to come see me in New Orleans or online, BloodyMaryNewOrleans.com, or Bloody Mary New Orleans for YouTube, and come see me in the flesh. Come to New Orleans. If not, you can get me to go now. And in New Orleans, that would mean take a cocktail down the street, but here I'm talking about the app. Now in England, back to New Orleans in a week.
And it's a good night.
Almost a good night.
Goodbye from me, guys.
Ashe.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on ParaSearch Radio.